Hey, it's another day here for Radio Row at home here on ClaibsOnline.com. I am Joe Roderick, and we are presented to you all week long by Kevin Miller of Caldwell Banker Gundaker. It's a pleasure to be joined now by Callum Denault of the Special Olympics and WWE superstar Kevin Owens now on the show. Guys, hello, how are you?
Honored to be here.
Yeah, good. Thanks for having us, man.
Kevin, before we start, that your match on Sunday was quite an extreme, and I see Callum too agreeing. How are you feeling now, 4 days removed from that?
Yeah, I'm a little sore. I'm recovering from the table fall and the golf cart, and I burned myself on a light at one point. And, that's not even mentioning all the emotional wounds that I suffered in the match. So, but I'm all right. I'm ready to go. Tomorrow's Friday, which means time to go back to work,
I always, I like to know the backstory about how they pair you guys up with each other for these interviews. And reading about Callum, I mean, it's simple. You guys are both Canadian boys, and I think the match was made in heaven, right?
Yeah, I've been a big fan of KO. I love his style. He's got great mic skills. He's got a unique ring presence, and it's been such a great experience to be able to partner with him for stuff like this.
Yeah, I think originally we were paired up for an interview a while back just because we were both Canadian. But since then, I think, they saw we make it work. So, and part of it's probably both being Canadian, it's just synergies there already. But yeah, Caleb's my man.
Now, Caleb, are there different? I mean, we've talked. I think you might be the first Canadian that I've had on as far as with the Special Olympics. Does it differ from the U.S. to Canada, and I guess the competition and how the Special Olympics are set up?
Not really. There's still the whole idea of inclusion and making sure everyone can have the best opportunity to compete, and using sports as a way to improve. Floor hockey's bigger here, but I'm in Toronto, so I'm lucky I still get to play a lot of basketball. And the Healthy Athlete's still really good. Like I had these glasses are from Healthy Athletes. I got it in Ontario, so I'd say it's pretty similar actually, and just as great.
Caleb, I mean, I'm looking here. What sport? You mentioned basketball. You mentioned floor hockey. Which sport do you think is your go-to sport?
Basketball for sure. We have unified sports, and as I'm sure you know, in the States and Canada, where people with intellectual disabilities like myself play with people who don't have disabilities, like university athletes, and those have been some really competitive games. I've enjoyed them thoroughly, and it's just part of like making the world more inclusive, more diverse. So, basketball for me.
Who's your favorite NBA player?
I'd have to say it's someone on the Raptors, DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, or Vince Carter, one of those three.
And now, Kevin, I mean, KO, you're hanging out with her. I mean, well, I don't know if you're hanging out, but you and the Raptors both got displaced down to Tampa these past few months. So that's
yeah, I'm definitely not hanging out with them. That's frowned upon, right? But yeah, I heard about that. I'll admit to not being a huge sports guy. I discovered wrestling when I was 11 years old, and everything kind of fell by the wayside at that point. But obviously, the Raptors have been doing great, and I heard that they also had to relocate to Florida the same way I did. But I mean, with this weather, it's kind of hard to complain there. But it's not Canada, so I'm sure it does wear on them for sure.
I was gonna say February in Canada. This is a good time to be gone from that, right?
Yeah, I mean, if there's a silver lining to it, it's that they're not suffering through the snowstorms and the cold and all that stuff. But at the same time, they probably miss it the way I sort of miss as well. So.
Kevin, when you guys when the WWE pairs up with the Special Olympics, when they come to you and talk to you about that partnership, what's a thought that goes through your mind?
Well, so WWE does a lot of stuff with multiple organizations, across so many different walks of life. And when they came, so one of the things that I always heard the most positive about from other guys and girls that I work with, whenever they get to do an event with Special Olympics. So when they came to me and asked me if I wanted to be a part of those, I immediately jumped at the chance. And it's been incredibly rewarding for me to meet the athletes, to meet the crew behind it, to meet their families as well. It's inspiring to see people that have obstacles that not everybody has to deal with. They smash those obstacles, and they compete in all these different games. And beyond that, Callum's touched on it several times, throughout all the interviews we've done this morning. What's the best part of it is the sports and the competitions they do is really just a background to a way of them all getting a nice sense of community and almost becoming a whole big family. And to be part of that family is really fantastic. I was part of the opening ceremonies a few years ago in Connecticut for the games they're having there, and I turned around and told WWE immediately that whenever they need me for anything Special Olympics related, I'm more than happy to be a part of it. And I'm just one of many WWE superstars who feels that way. Because it's as much as WWE helps Special Olympics, we get so much back just being a part of it.
Caleb, when you've been doing this since you were 8 years old, you've been competing in sports for the Special Olympics. How old are you now?
21.
So so over half your life.
There's guys I've known that are in their 60s, 70s, 80s. It really, that's what I mean by inclusive. Like there's a role for anybody in Special Olympics, and increasingly a role for anyone anywhere. Like I've been saying for a long time I want to be a journalist or sport journalist, and they're giving me opportunities like this, which are so incredible. There's other athlete leaders that have their health messengers or interning at Special Olympics Ontario, which I've also been offered. And I've done for the past 3 summers. So, yeah, it's if you want in, you're in.
And the journalism, the dream of doing something in journalism, is that what kind of got you into the role of being a spokesman for it?
Absolutely, yeah. It kind of fed into itself, actually. Like I did some spokesperson stuff for the Torch Run, which is where police officers raise money for Special Olympics, and I realized I was good at doing media stuff, and I enjoyed it. And then it was sort of like it got Special Olympics guided me, and
yeah, just
Kevin, when
there and all the opportunities.
Kevin, when as a wrestler, when you guys go back and forth when it comes to characters that you have and things you see on screen, you are a completely different person in social media, and you are so kind to all of your fans on social media. In today's world of social media and wrestling, how difficult is that to balance the two?
Yeah, I have a real love-hate relationship with social media. Because it gives me access to a lot of really special people and a lot of extremely loyal fans. And, every day I'll be able to read a story of something that I did as a WWE superstar, or something WWE in general has done to help brighten somebody's day or help them through a tough time in life. But at the same time, you get the opposite side, where you get a lot of very... I don't know how to put them. A lot of very questionable people have access to you. So I'm not as active on there as I used to be. But if there's a positive from it, it's that I see the positive impact that what we do can have on people, and that's great. And I've been able to, connect with some people and make however slight it may have been, just make a little impact, a positive impact on their lives as they were going through some tough stuff. So that's definitely the best part of the social media and the reach. But it is hard to balance, the way things work with social media and just life and even as a performer as well, and how it impacts your performance on a weekly basis. It's pretty complicated.
Guys, I want to thank you so much for stopping by, for making the time to join us. Callum, what's the next date on the calendar that you're looking forward to for your next competition?
Well, I think the big one is in 2022. There's going to be the USA Games in Florida. I heard Canada has gotten an invitation that we have to respond to, and the Caribbean's going to be joining for the first time. So that's going to be huge. Definitely looking forward to that.
And KO, of course, it's WrestleMania season for you. So all wrestling fans know that it's that we got about 65 days, I think, until the Super Bowl for wrestling.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know how many days. I'll find out how many days we are exactly when I get to the Thunderdome tomorrow, and it's plastered everywhere. 65 days or whatever the way they do it. But yeah, it's the big one. It's as big as it gets for us.
That's Callum Denault and Kevin Owens of the WWE. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, man.